Hello, people of YouTube! Welcome to this fantabulous day. It is gorgeous outside in Colombia. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous, sunny, nice day. And it's just really cool outside, and the sun is bright and shining, and that kind of weather reminds me of this album, Reveal by REM. Released in 2001, this album has a late 90s alt-rock feel. You know, after grunge had run its course around 95, 96, there wasn't really anything to fill the void of, any kind of movement. And there wasn't, that void was never really filled until you get into, the mid-2000s, in my opinion. But there was some, ghost, like, whisper of a movement, the SoCal. A lot of bands coming out of Southern California at that time. A lot of them were playing like a kind of punk rock. You had like Green Day and Rancid and bands like that, but you had some really alternative rock bands. And I think that this album doesn't exactly mimic that sound, but it borrows from it heavily. And so yeah, this is an interesting album. It's very pretty. It's very laid back, very like Beach Boys-y-ish. As far as the attitude goes. So, yeah, let's get to it. Originality, I'm going to go with an 8, because it lends so much from the SoCal scene. And, REM really kind of returned to their original sound a little in this album, while keeping the kind of electronic experimentation that you see on Up. So it's a nice blend, I think, but it's not, it's not really, originality. That's tough. I'll still keep with an 8 because of the SoCal thing, but everything else I just said is just like an, explanation more, an advancement on my first statement. Anyway, how much I like this album, it's a 7, and what a 7 is I can listen to about 75% of the music once through, and then I move on to something else. So yeah, production is, I think the production is a little too glossy. It's a little too pretty. I don't like glossy production. That's not to say that I gotta have crappy production or it's always gotta be lo-fi, but there's a difference between hi-fi and glossy production. There's a big difference there, and this album is a little glossy. It's not as glossy as Nevermind, that's for sure. It has some edge to it, but not enough for my tastes. So production, I'm gonna stick with a 7 around 6 or a 7. Flow is good. There's a common feel to all the songs. This late 90s alt-rock SoCal feel, but the songs have a kind of, like a derivation on that theme, and they do different things with each song. So while you're listening to it, you have a certain mindset all the way through, but it's kept interesting while you listen to it, and nothing is, like distracting. But that's not a good thing, because there's no songs that pop out. There's not like one song that's just like, wow, and then there's no songs that are just like, So picking a best song and a worst song is kind of hard. Best song I would have to go with is the lead single, Imitation of Life, because I think that song is the biggest return to their beginning style. And I really like it, but again, that song has a lot of gloss to it. There's a lot of production. The worst song I'd have to say is Beach Ball, the last track, and that's one of the 25% of this album that I get bored listening to the song and I just kind of skip over it. This album is really, it's really big, it's really lush. It has a lot going on. There are a lot of different things that are going on. It's a real step away from the minimalist approach that REM usually takes. I mean, they even took that kind of minimalism in with Up. And so this album it's on the fence for me. It's really, I have things that I like about this album, and then there are things that I don't like. understandable. Most albums are that way. So yeah, overall gets a 7. And that, that's really all I gotta say. Yeah, so this is all about music. Leave a comment in the comments section below. And I got some reviews that are going to be coming up once I get a hold of the albums and give them a listen and get acquainted with them. And I hope to be finishing up the REM thing around the end of next week. And then I've decided I will be embarking on another discography. And I haven't quite decided yet. And I'll let you guys know, and I'll probably let you guys pick. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah. This is all about music, and that's all I gotta say. See you guys next time.